Aquarius, stop scrolling right now. Before midnight tonight, the universe is closing a door. And if you make even one of these 4 mistakes, you could lose a blessing that has been building for months. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you could change everything. The cosmic picture for Aquarius today. Let's talk about what's really happening in your sky right now, because today is not just an ordinary Monday. Today, July 27th, 2026, carries a very specific kind of pressure for you, Aquarius, and if you understand it, you can use it. If you ignore it, it can quietly work against you. You are ruled by Uranus, the planet of sudden change, awakening, and revolution. And right now, the energy around you is asking you to make a choice, not a loud, dramatic choice, a quiet one, the kind of choice that happens in a single moment, in a single decision, in a single conversation you have today. That is the nature of Aquarius energy. You don't usually get hit by a lightning bolt. You get a whisper, a nudge, a subtle shift. And it is entirely up to you whether you listen. Here's what makes today different. The moon is moving through a sensitive position relative to your sign, stirring up emotions that you, as an air sign, don't always know what to do with. You are brilliant with ideas. You are gifted with vision. You can see 5 steps ahead of everyone else in the room. But emotions, raw, messy, inconvenient emotions, those can trip you up, especially on a day like today, when the sky is asking you to feel something instead of just think about it. At the same time, there's a tension building between the practical, grounded parts of your chart and the parts of you that want to break free, rebel, and do something completely unexpected. This is very you, Aquarius. You are the sign of the individual, the rebel, the one who refuses to follow the crowd just because everyone else is doing it. But today, that same independent streak could either save you or sabotage you, depending on how you use it. Think of today like a narrow bridge. On one side is where you've been, familiar, safe, maybe even a little stagnant. On the other side is where you're being called to go. Something new, something that requires courage, something that might feel uncomfortable at first, but leads to real growth. The bridge itself is narrow, and if you're not careful with your footing, you could stumble. That stumble is what we're calling the fatal mistakes today. Not because your life is in danger, but because your momentum is. Your blessing, the thing that's been quietly assembling itself behind the scenes for you, is fragile right now. It needs the right conditions to land safely in your life. And here's the part I really want you to hear. This blessing isn't abstract. It could be a message you've been waiting for. It could be an opportunity that finally opens up. It could be clarity about a relationship, a job, a move, a decision you've been avoiding for weeks. Whatever it is for you personally, the cosmic weather today is either going to help it arrive or push it further away. And the difference comes down to how you handle these next few hours. So before we get into the 4 mistakes, I want you to take a breath. This isn't about fear. This is about awareness. When you know what to watch for, you stop being a passenger in your own life and you start being the driver. That's exactly the energy you need today, Aquarius. Awake, aware, and intentional. Let's walk through exactly what to avoid, one by one, so that by midnight, you're not looking back with regret, but forward with excitement. Mistake number 1, retreating into your head instead of your heart. The first mistake you have to watch for today is one of the oldest patterns in the Aquarius playbook. Retreating into your head the moment things get emotionally intense. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The second a conversation starts to feel too personal, too vulnerable, too real, you find a way to intellectualize it. You analyze it. You turn it into a concept instead of a feeling. It's a defense mechanism that has probably served you well in the past. But today, of all days, it could cost you something important. Here's why this matters so much right now. The current planetary climate is stirring up emotional undercurrents that are begging to be acknowledged, not analyzed to death. If someone reaches out to you today, a friend, a partner, a family member, and they're sharing something vulnerable with you, the temptation will be strong to respond with logic, with advice, with a clever reframe of the situation. And look, your mind is genuinely one of your greatest gifts. Nobody solves problems quite like an Aquarius, but not every moment calls for a solution. Some moments simply call for your presence. If you retreat into pure intellect today, you risk missing a moment of real connection. And that connection might be exactly the doorway your blessing is trying to walk through. Blessings rarely arrive as neat little packages. Often, they arrive disguised as an uncomfortable conversation, a moment of honesty, a chance to let someone see the real you instead of the polished, clever version you usually present to the world. There's also a subtler version of this mistake that's worth naming: overthinking your own decisions today. Aquarius, you have a tendency, especially under pressure, to create endless scenarios in your mind. What if I do this? What if I do that? What if it goes wrong? What if I say the wrong thing? This kind of mental spinning can keep you stuck in analysis paralysis right when you need to act, or right when you need to simply be still and receive what's being offered to you. The sky today doesn't reward overthinking. It rewards presence. So how do you avoid this mistake in practice? Start by noticing the moment it happens. The instant you feel yourself pulling away from a feeling and into a thought, pause. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now, underneath the thinking? You don't have to share it out loud if you're not ready. But naming it to yourself, even silently, keeps you connected to your own heart instead of floating 3 feet above it, watching from a safe distance. If you're in a conversation with someone today and they're opening up, resist the urge to immediately offer a fix. Try simply saying, "That sounds really hard," or "I'm glad you told me that." Let the moment breathe. You'll be amazed at how much more powerful your words land when they come from genuine feeling instead of a rehearsed response. This mistake matters because Aquarius energy, at its best, isn't cold. It's humanitarian. It's deeply caring about people, just expressed differently than other signs. Today is a day to let that caring come through unfiltered, without the intellectual armor. The people around you don't need you to have all the answers right now. They need to know you're actually there with them. And when you show up that way, you open the exact kind of emotional channel that allows unexpected good things to flow toward you too. Don't let the walls of your mind keep your blessing standing outside the door. Mistake number 2. Making an impulsive financial or material decision. The second mistake to watch for today involves your resources, your money, your possessions, your material security. Aquarius, you are naturally forward-thinking, and that's a wonderful quality most of the time. You see trends before other people do. You get excited about new ideas, new investments, new possibilities. But today, that same forward-thinking energy has a shadow side. impulsiveness dressed up as inspiration. Here's what tends to happen. When you feel restless, and you will likely feel a little restless today, given the underlying tension we talked about earlier, you look for an outlet. Sometimes that outlet is a bold financial move, a purchase you talk yourself into because it feels right in the moment, a sudden decision to lend money, invest in something, sign up for something, or commit financially to an idea that hasn't been fully thought through. Under today's sky, the temptation to act fast on a financial impulse is higher than usual, and it's exactly the kind of decision that can quietly chip away at the blessing that's trying to reach you. This doesn't mean today is a bad day for financial decisions in general. It means today is a bad day for rushed ones. There's a real difference between decisive action, which comes from clarity, and impulsive action, which comes from restlessness. Decisive action feels calm, even when it's bold. Impulsive action feels urgent, almost frantic, like you have to do it right this second, or you'll lose the chance forever. That urgency is the red flag. Blessings are rarely lost because you waited 24 hours to think something through. They're far more often lost because a hasty decision created a mess that needed cleaning up. If you notice yourself wanting to buy something big today, wire money somewhere, co-sign for someone, or make a fast commitment involving your resources, do yourself a favor. Sleep on it. Literally. Wait until after midnight, when this particular window of energy has passed, and revisit the decision with fresh eyes tomorrow. If it still feels right in the morning light, without the emotional charge of today's restlessness, then you'll know it's coming from genuine conviction rather than impulse. There's another layer to this worth mentioning. Aquarius sometimes uses spending or material decisions as a way to prove independence, a subtle, I'll do what I want, when I want energy that flares up when you feel boxed in by rules, expectations, or other people's opinions. If someone has been telling you what to do with your money or your resources lately, today's restless energy might tempt you to rebel just for the sake of rebelling, even if the decision itself isn't actually a wise one. Watch for that pattern specifically. Ask yourself honestly, am I doing this because it's genuinely good for me, or because I want to prove a point to someone? Protecting your resources today isn't about being fearful or stingy. It's about being a good steward of what you already have, so that when the blessing arrives, and it is arriving, you're in a stable position to actually receive and use it well. Imagine working towards something for months, only to have a moment of impulsiveness create a setback right before the finish line. That's exactly the kind of self-sabotage today's energy wants you to avoid. Stay grounded, stay patient with your money and your material choices, and let clarity, not restlessness, guide your hand. Mistake number 3. Saying something blunt you can't take back. The third mistake, and honestly one of the trickiest for your sign, involves your words. Aquarius, you are famous for your honesty. You don't sugarcoat things. You say what you mean, and people generally respect you for it because they know they're getting the truth from you, not a watered-down version designed to spare their feelings. That honesty is a genuine gift. But today, under the current planetary tension, that same gift can tip over into bluntness that lands harder than you intend. And once certain words are spoken, they can't be unspoken. Here's the mechanism behind this. When you feel emotionally cornered, misunderstood, or frustrated, which, as we discussed, is more likely today thanks to the emotional undercurrents in the sky, your instinct is to cut through the tension with a sharp, clear statement. In your mind, you're just being direct. You're just telling the truth. But in the heat of frustration, direct can slide into harsh, without you even realizing it's happening until you see the look on the other person's face. This is especially important to watch for in close relationships today, with a partner, a close friend, a family member, or even a co-worker you deal with regularly. If a disagreement comes up, and it very well might, notice the urge to deliver a verbal knockout punch, the kind of comment that's technically true, but unnecessarily cutting. The kind of line that gets a reaction in the moment, but creates distance for days or weeks afterward. That distance is exactly what could interfere with your blessing, especially if that blessing involves a relationship, a partnership, or an opportunity that depends on someone else's goodwill toward you. The fix here isn't to stop being honest. Your honesty is valuable and people need it. The fix is to add a pause between the feeling and the words. When you notice frustration rising in a conversation today, try counting to 3 before you respond. That tiny gap gives your natural intelligence, which is considerable, a chance to choose the version of the truth that's both honest and kind, rather than the version that's honest and cutting. There's almost always a way to say a hard thing with care. It just takes an extra beat to find it. It also helps to remember your intention before you speak. Ask yourself quickly, am I trying to be understood, or am I trying to win? Aquarius can get pulled into the second one without meaning to, especially when someone challenges an idea you feel strongly about. But winning an argument today, at the cost of someone's trust, is a losing trade in the bigger picture. The blessing waiting for you tonight is not going to arrive through a battle won. It's far more likely to arrive through a bridge kept intact. If you do feel a sharp comment slipping out despite your best efforts, don't spiral into guilt. Just circle back. A simple, "That came out harsher than I meant, let me say it differently," goes a remarkably long way. And honestly, it's a very Aquarius move too, because it's honest about the honesty itself. Today rewards people who can be truthful and tender at the same time. Aim for that combination, and you'll protect not just your relationships, but the momentum building quietly in your favor. Mistake number 4, ignoring the quiet nudge from your intuition. The fourth and final mistake is the most subtle of them all, and in many ways, the most important. Today, at some point, you are going to get a quiet nudge. A small, almost easy to dismiss feeling that says pay attention to this, or don't do that, or reach out to this person. It might come as a passing thought. It might come as a strange coincidence, like a name popping up twice in one day, or a song lyric that seems to speak directly to your situation. It might come as a gut feeling about a decision that logically seems fine, but just doesn't sit right. Whatever form it takes, the mistake to avoid is talking yourself out of it. Aquarius, you are ruled by an air sign's love of logic, and you often trust your mind over your instincts because your mind has proven itself reliable so many times before. But intuition operates on a different frequency than logic. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't hand you a spreadsheet of reasons. It just knows, quietly and confidently. And it's up to you to decide whether you'll honor that knowing or override it with a more reasonable explanation. Here's why this matters so much today specifically. The blessing that's been building for you isn't going to announce itself with trumpets. it's far more likely to arrive through exactly this kind of subtle inner signal, a feeling that pulls you toward a certain person, a certain choice, a certain path, even if you can't fully justify it yet. If you dismiss that nudge because it doesn't make perfect logical sense, you risk closing a door that was quietly opening for you. Think back over the past few weeks. Has there been a recurring thought you keep pushing aside? A person you keep thinking about reaching out to but haven't? An idea for a change you want to make but keep talking yourself out of because it seems impractical? Today is the day to stop dismissing that signal and start taking it seriously, even if all you do is write it down, sit with it, or take one small step toward it. Practically speaking, this means creating a little space today to actually listen. You don't need incense and candles for this. You just need a few quiet minutes without your phone, without noise, without other people's opinions filling your head. Ask yourself simply, what have I been ignoring lately that keeps coming back? Whatever surfaces, trust it enough to explore it further, even gently. You don't have to make a huge life decision by midnight. You just have to stop shutting the door on the message before you've even really heard it. This is the mistake that ties all the others together. When you stay in your head instead of your heart, when you rush a financial decision, when you speak too bluntly, you are, in each case, overriding a quieter, wiser part of yourself in favor of speed, control, or self-protection. Tonight, before midnight, the invitation is to slow down enough to actually hear that wiser voice and to trust it, even when it whispers instead of shouts. That is how you keep the door open for the blessing that's already on its way to you. How to close out the day and welcome your blessing. Now that you know the 4 mistakes to avoid, let's talk about what you can actively do tonight to set yourself up for the best possible outcome. Because avoiding mistakes is only half the equation. The other half is intentionally creating space for good things to land. First, before midnight, take 5 quiet minutes to reflect honestly on your day. Not to judge yourself, but simply to notice. Did you catch yourself retreating into your head during an emotional moment? Did you feel the pull toward an impulsive purchase or decision? Did a blunt comment almost slip out? Or did it slip out already? Did you feel a quiet nudge you brushed aside? Simply noticing these patterns without harsh self-criticism is powerful. Awareness is the first step to choosing differently next time, and it also gently closes the loop on anything from today that might still be lingering. Second, if you realize you did make one of these mistakes today, it is absolutely not too late to correct course. Send that text you've been avoiding. Clarify that comment that came out sharper than intended. Pause that impulsive purchase before it's finalized. The sky rewards the willingness to course correct far more than it punishes the initial misstep. Nobody handles every hour of every day perfectly, and Aquarius, you are not expected to either. What matters is the direction you're facing by the time midnight arrives. Third, spend a few minutes tonight genuinely open to receiving. This might sound abstract, but it's simple in practice. So often we are so focused on chasing, achieving, and doing that, we forget how to simply receive something good when it arrives. Tonight, before you go to sleep, mentally acknowledge that you are open and ready for the blessing that's been building for you. It might show up tomorrow as an unexpected message, an opportunity, a resolved conflict, or simply a feeling of peace and clarity you haven't had in a while. Stay open to it, in whatever form it takes, rather than assuming it has to look a particular way. Fourth, and this is especially important for your sign, resist the urge to overanalyze what the blessing is supposed to be. Aquarius loves a good theory, a good prediction, a good plan. But blessings, real ones, don't always follow a script. Let go of needing to know exactly what shape it will take, and trust that showing up with awareness today has already done the important work. Finally, give yourself some credit. The fact that you're here, paying attention, taking your own growth seriously enough to reflect on your day and course correct where needed, that alone puts you ahead of where you were yesterday. That is exactly the kind of energy that draws good things closer, not through force, but through alignment. Tonight, as midnight approaches, walk into it with your eyes open, your heart a little softer, and your mind a little quieter. That is how you meet a blessing halfway. So there you have it, Aquarius, 4 mistakes to watch for before midnight, and the simple shifts that can turn tonight into a true turning point. Remember, awareness is your superpower today. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and let me know which mistake hit closest to home. And if you want to know exactly what's coming for your sign next, make sure you come back, because the next reading is going to reveal something you really don't want to miss. Until then, stay open, stay aware, and trust what's coming your way.